Welcome to the Athlete to Athlete series. My name is Rennie Kern. I'm a former professional athlete, speaker, leadership coach, and the founder of the Game Changers Foundation. Our mission is to help current and former athletes in sports, business, and life. Each week, we'll be bringing you top former athletes to share tips, tools, and strategies to help you change the game on and off the field. Our series is made possible through our amazing sponsors, the Sports Turf Company. This week on the Athlete to Athlete series, we're bringing on a guy who's straight out of Landmark Christian High School, who went on to play at University of Georgia and then transitioned from athlete to musician. You're gonna love this interview. I wanna welcome onto the show none other than Wix Patton. Wix, man, welcome onto the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, glad to have you on the Athlete to Athlete series, man. First and foremost, congrats on all your success, man.
Yes, sir.
Been always keeping up with you with your music and everything that you're doing now, but I want to take it back to your high school days, man. I know you came out of, out of Landmark Christian.
Yes, sir.
And everything. So tell me about what your high school experience was like, man, being an athlete, trying to achieve your dreams.
Man, for me, I started playing football really junior and senior year. So that transition was awesome, mainly because I was always getting to see the tradition the high school had, you know, with all the fans, and then just seeing how all my friends that play on the team, how they're moving. So making that transition and getting to play with those guys around junior, senior year, being a part of the culture, I really understood it and fell in love with the game so much more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just from, you know, like every high school has their own traditions when it comes to the football team, how they come out, how halftime is, how the end of the game is. So,
yeah,
man, I just fell in love with it for me.
Yeah.
And honestly, we had a really good team with a lot of great guys. So I think I really understood camaraderie in sports to a whole nother level through high school football.
Oh, yeah, man. So now take me into that locker room with you before that pregame, man. What was that like? You know, what were your pregame rituals? What was that pregame? Maybe give me a couple pregame songs you used to listen to. What was that like, man?
Back then, I feel like I was listening to like No Hands, Waka Flocka, Roscoe Dash.
Yes, sir.
I was listening to a lot of high energy because back then I was all about just trying to look as swole as possible before I went out. Something like Rennie, I was trying to go out there looking like a whole beast. I was doing pull-ups, push-ups. I was doing a whole mini workout just because I felt like I was going to war. So I just needed to be as big as possible. And man, I don't know, you know, I did a lot of praying, and then I did the same ritual back then that I do for all my shows now. I would do 10 touch jumps and 10 jumping jacks, and then you get the blood flow and you start feeling like, okay, I'm ready to go. The way you're not doing too much to where you're tired, but then you still got the same energy to go out there and go crazy, so.
No, I love it, man. It's along your journey, man. So tell me about a challenge that you faced during high school and how you were able to overcome that for those listeners who are watching.
For me, I had to make up for lost time, mainly because, like I said, I started playing football later, so I just did a lot of training. I did dieting. The overcoming thing for me was I was tall like a receiver and I had hands, but I didn't have the speed. So every single coach that came to look at me as a junior was telling me they could see me as a tight end, but I needed to develop into that. So, you know, lacking the amount of time that I had playing football, you know, I had to make up for lost time. So it was just a serious grind for me, and the things that I had to learn was just how to play my role, you know. So a lot of time spent just putting on the size, putting in the hours and everything like that. So yeah, that's it for me, really.
Gotcha, man.
Just putting in that extra work.
Putting in extra work, that's it, man. That's a lesson for life. And, you know, now taking it from football to what you're doing now, man, talk about, you know, what that journey was like, your transition, and just any advice that you would give to athletes out there, because we all know one day, you know, football, whatever sport you play is going to come to an end. So what advice would you give as athletes start to think about their transition?
I'd say just to follow your heart and apply the same discipline and the same work ethics that you received, you know, as an athlete into the real world, because once you follow a passion and you already have all the tools that you've learned and the lessons and the L's that you've had to take along the way, then you know that once you apply all those things into the real world, you know, it's honestly really, really fun. And, you know, I feel like all of the things that you go through throughout high school and college are really just preparatory for the real world. So take everything as you can and just, you know, follow your heart, put in the work, and just have fun.
Yeah, man. And tell me what that was like for you, man, going from athlete to musician, man. Like, what was that process like?
For me, it felt really good because all throughout, my childhood and growing up, I felt like an artist in my heart. I was always writing music, I was doing shows, I was doing everything that an artist would do, you know what I mean? But it was like the future, just football took on the future for me early on throughout, high school and then college. So then for me to fully fledged get to be an artist and have kind of that platform and fan base, it was amazing, and then as soon as I got into that world, I knew all I had to do was just transition all of those things that I was learned and developed throughout being a football player and an athlete, and then, kind of going out there and applying it. Yeah. Like I said, doing the same 10 touch jumps and jumping jacks before I go on, that same energy that you have approaching a game, you need to approach that with the show because, you're going out there and you're trying to put everybody on the same wavelength, and what you put out is what will be put in. So. Man, I'd say, just at the end of the day, just putting your heart into anything, putting your heart into what you love and just going all in.
Love it, man. Love it. Well, last question I have for you, man, is how can those watching get in touch with you, support you, and everything that you're doing, man?
I'd say the easiest way to find me is just to look me up, Wix Patton, on Google, any social media platform, any platform that you use to listen to music, you can find me. Please check me out. And to all the high school football players and fans out there, go crazy. We're watching. The whole community's here. We all got your back. Thank y'all for doing what you're doing. Thank you for supporting us.
All right, man. Appreciate you being on the Athlete to Athlete series, my guy.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all having me.
Athlete to Athlete, presented by Sports Turf Company and the Game Changers Foundation.